Welcome to 50 Ways to Succeed at Work, where you hear stuff about ways to succeed even the most well-intentioned colleagues, advisors, careers officers and HR departments may never get around to mentioning. Episode 33. Tackle trivia. Just because you're smart, you can't avoid the trivial. Ed is proud of his college degree, so when he starts work it's a shock that none of that learning appears to matter. Instead, he's expected to tackle what seem trivial jobs, many of which he can do almost in his sleep. When his senior manager hands him a huge pile of computer printouts to check against an equally large pile of paid subscriptions, Ed can hardly believe it. What year is the boss living in, for heaven's sake? After 3 hours at this tedious and trivial work, Ed rebels. He marches into his senior colleague's office and demands to be heard.
This is madness. Why are we doing this, Stephen?
Because it needs doing, Ed. We should automate checking, but the tech people say the system still isn't robust enough. So we have to do it manually, for at least 6 months.
6 months? Do you mean I have to wait to do this for half a year? I didn't sign up for this when I was recruited. What the hell can I learn from trivial work like this?
You can learn the details matter, Ed. You can't always have exciting work. Sometimes you get stuck with what seems trivial, as we all do. If you like, I can see if there's something suitable for you in the sales division.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Welcome to Sales, Ed. Hope you like it here. So, let's get a start with this stuff. Sorry it's a bit messy, but please review these invoices and check the totals against the one on this printout. I guess it will take, at least a couple of days.
Oh man, 2 days of this trivial rubbish, Amal. There has to be a better way.
So what did you do, Ed?
Well, I scanned the whole wretched pile of invoices, all 1,500. Then using the coding technique we learned at college, I linked the results to the numbers in the spreadsheet. It's really simple.
Well, that's brilliant. But, it's hardly rocket science.
Yeah, you're right. It took a couple of false starts, but the whole thing was done in just 2 hours, not 2 days.
That's terrific. What did your new supervisor say?
Yeah, well, that was the best bit. At first she didn't believe it, but after a brief check, she agreed that the job was done, and I think she was quite impressed. Though she seemed delighted.
Ed is someone with great potential. His initiative with trivial work provided an opportunity to shine. He also learned that there is no such thing as a trivial job. Now let's relate Ed's experience to your work situation. When it comes to trivial tasks, people tend to have 3 main questions. I need a job, but should I stay if I mainly get trivial tasks? How do I ask for help to do a lengthy, trivial task at work? How do I make boring tasks less boring? As for needing a job but getting trivial tasks, what should you do? This is a legitimate concern if the problem persists for years. Most of us want engaging activities to fill our personal and professional lives. Yet even in the most creative endeavours, there may still be many menial or tedious, critical tasks, either for ourselves or our organisation. Rather than shunning them, they're part of life, from washing up to checking the validity of your computer code, from putting out the bins for collection to checking a report for errors of grammar or presentation. Can you find ways to get better at doing some of these things? Can you stimulate your brain and help build your reputation, thinking out of the box and persistence? Next, how do you ask for help to do a lengthy, trivial task at work? First, get clear about exactly what help you need. Is it another pair of hands, guidance on aims or direction, or technical support on how to do something? Consider seeking out less fully employed colleagues from across the organisation and see if they can help with your tasks. Or could you seek tech help to automate something? Just because it's trivial, time-consuming and tedious doesn't mean you have to do it all yourself. Maybe talk to your senior person or supervisor to suggest sharing the work with others. Come up with some names of people who you know might be free to assist. Finally, how do you make tedious tasks less boring? Your mind naturally seeks to be engaged. Boring, repetitive, or undemanding tasks may require more attention than you have available. This can lead you to run from these tasks prematurely. Instead, adopt a second activity where you can immerse yourself alongside the low-attention task. This can occupy that attention shortfall and can help you increase your persistence. Think of how people make boring gym workouts less dull by listening to music. Rather than endlessly attempting to make tedious tasks less tedious, pair the activity with one that demands more attention, such as watching a learning video while completing a dull, unrewarding task. So, what action am I proposing? Don't assume that trivia is unimportant. Check it out first. Do your fair share of tackling the trivia before making a fuss about it. And when trivia seems to be diverting attention from critical issues, be willing to say so. And my takeaway from this? Employees often say they've lost time on work-specific tasks that are unrelated to their core job because they end up doing trivia. Well, only assume that something is trivial if you've checked it out and found that there are no implications for creative possibilities. You've been listening to an episode of Andrew's 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. For more episodes, subscribe free to my regular weekly podcasts. You can catch up on past ones at the 50ways.site, where you can also become a Foundation member with access to e-learning units, further reading links, and the forum, where you can ask questions, share problems, and join a growing community of people who seriously want to succeed at work. Now there's a new book and an audio version called, you guessed it, 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. Buy it at Amazon or the 50ways.site. Unmissable. Thanks for listening, and bye for now until next week.